The Lost Shrek film, a creepypasta by and literally narrated by Dave the Useless. A lot of people love Shrek because it featured the comedic riffage of Mike Myers and up-and-coming celebrity Martin Lawrence. What a lot of people don't know is that Shrek was originally planned to be a part of a 5-film series. The film's production took a strange turn after Shrek the Third was released, with actor Mike Myers reportedly claiming that if he had to voice the big green ogre again, he'd quote, "frickin' kill himself." The arduous process of making the masterful Shrek films has led to a huge cult online following of people who demand a Shrek 4, demand a fourth Shrek film. I work for DreamWorks. I was a doll grip on both Shrek films. One day I hear actor John Leguizamo discussing his part in the Shrek After feature when the production manager immediately told him to leave angrily and never to mention the fourth Shrek film again. Well, I managed to slip into office one night when everyone else was asleep under the disguise that I had forgotten my prized Lord Farquaad mug. Little did I know that I was about to discover something that would completely destroy the Shrek mythology and possibly explain the apocalyptic theories related to Shrek that are swimming around the internet. The DVD has Shrek 4 written in a Sharpie marker with a picture of Shrek in a permanent frown. Shrek looked really disappointed. He was staring at his feet, and he had dark circles under his eyes. The DVD itself was a CDRW with an onion with a smiley face on set for Jeff Small. With one of those D-mouth smiley faces. I think Jeff Small was one of the higher-ups at DreamWorks, if not the CEO. I knew I was risking a job, but I sold the DVD and presented it with his Family Guy DVD, expecting to get some heat from my boss in the morning. I smashed the security camera on the way out and went home. It turns out this disc was a promotional Blu-ray for a straight-to-DVD copy of Shrek. I put the disc into the DVD player, and it started. The intro was bizarre. It looked like a bunch of fairies were hanging from trees, and there was just the sound of someone screaming, "Oh my god," over and over again. But the next part was really effed up. We see the house that Shrek lives in, but it seems it's somewhat more like hell. Shrek looks really nervous, and his eyes look more glossy and realistic. I'm guessing this wasn't finished, but Shrek looked a lot cheaper. The backshots were more grainier, and there were what looked like human hands sticking up from the ground. "Time to water the hands," said Shrek. He walks outside and takes it, pisses on some hands. It was disturbing. I didn't want to watch Shrek pissing on hands. You even saw his green thing. I get this we tell it was Mike Myers, the actor who betrayed Shrek, doing the voice of him. What was the most disturbing part, however, was that his voice sounded a lot raspier and sad. He sounded like he was playing a sad old Irishman with cancer. He walks over to a donkey, who's not played by Eddie Murphy. Oh, the donkey who is not voiced by Eddie Murphy, the actor that legend betrayed him. Is that he sounded like an angry German man. "Shrek, we need to go to the castle to stop the dragon," he yelled. He was standing on his hind legs, and there was clearly a swastika on his forehead. "I'm making waffles," Donkey yelled, and he kicked a gingerbread man into the background. I could see the gingerbread man crying and bleeding, with highly realistic horror the likes of which DreamWorks could never produce on its own. I had been a fan of the film as it reached my demographic as intended by the CEO of DreamWorks, but I don't see how anyone could enjoy this. I think it just seems sad and dead. Donkey walked to the end of the cliff, and you could see a visible noose around his neck. "You see, Donkey, people are like onions, and onions have layers." Shrek started talking rapidly. He took a CG onion out and shoved his chicken in it. You could hear someone snickering rather loudly to the sound of the silverware rolling in the background. He should cook out the same knife that he used to peel the onion and started to peel his own skin off. He peeled layer after layer of skin off until he was just a bloody CGI skeleton with a picture of Mike Myers' real head, common as a post-production artifact. It wasn't even a scary picture of Myers, just him playing the love groove with someone having drawn a sausage on his head. I plan on shutting the DVD off. I knew for the love of God this was going to ruin my image of the wonderful ogre and his lovable accused intense. The scene immediately cut to Shrek messing with the wall in his house. An entire gingerbread. I cried. I took the DVD out of the player. I'd had enough. This was too scary for me. All of a sudden, the DVD started talking in a robotic voice. Please return me to my owner. A physical tear poured down Shrek's eye on the front of the case. I tasted it. It was salty. I opened the case to check for a apparatus where liquid would pour out, and I could find none. It was almost like some sort of magic demonic possession, or really like magical DVD. All of a sudden, the DVD started to scream, "People are like onions." I could smell onions all of a sudden, like one of those old scratch and sniff cards. I threw the DVD in the garbage can and lit the garbage on fire. My sprinkler system went off as the DVD exploded, sending flaming hot plastic to my eyes and burning my chest and nipple hair. My cat got sting and squealed at me and started to claw my eyes out while the sprinkler system hit the electrical current and exploded, burning away my kitchen. Alto man. I could hear the DVD laughing at me. I woke up in a hospital again. It turned out people are like onions. The doctor extracted several whole vegetable onion from my chest cavity during a surgical operation that took roughly 16 hours. They call it a medical miracle, saying that I had 3 days left to live. You can imagine how I spent those 3 days. Day 1. Make this right up so that the internet will remember this horrible tale. Day 2. Visit the world's largest McDonald's and order some McSpaghetti. Day 3. March straight into the DreamWorks Animation SKG building and demand to know the meaning of the godforsaken tape. I storm in, slam the DVD on the counter. "What the hell is this trash?" I yelled to a man behind a chair. The chair turned around, revealing Michael Myers. He looked horrible. He has gained roughly 200 pounds, and his skin has turned green due to leprosy. I wondered what had happened to him after the love grew. He had warts and scars all over his body, and he was exactly like Shrek. "Why, see, Muck," he said, leering at me. "People are like onions." I began to shudder. Onions have layers. He took out a potato peeler and lunged at me. I took out the DVD as he stabbed the potato peeler, and he stabbed the DVD cover. Those were of his power. Probably Mike Myers, and exploded into onions, and I was fired. But it's okay, because I was immediately detained by the United States government and exported to Ireland. Several men have painted me green, forcing me to live in a large, genetically modified onion cart with a donkey. They forced me to bathe in mud and plow the fields for vanilla onions on a daily basis. After about a month, a Hispanic man in a leopard print leotard came in holding a video camera. He was filming me and snickering. Other smaller Hispanic boys threw gingerbread men and plastic berries at me while I attempted to put in a honest day's work. The sunlight beat down on my disabled face as I lay down there in the mud, naked, bleeding, and cold. When I woke up, I was laying on some strange flower-shaped floor. As I looked up, I noticed that the many foods I planted in the fields were being spread all over my green and naked body. Oh my God. Tomatoes, beans, and sour cream. One of the Mexican pool boys threw Tex-Mex cheese into my painful wounds. I was being rolled into a tortilla. Oh my God! I screamed and tried to awaken from this horrible nightmare. But it wasn't a nightmare. It was reality. Except more real somehow. Like the real reality. And the after reality is a post reality that comes after the real reality. They poured hot beef sauce onto my body. Oh my God, I don't want to be the meat in this tortilla, I screamed. A familiar voice began to speak to me, and through my eyes, filled with spicy lime sauce. "No, Muck, you are the onions, and onions," my heart skipped a beat, "have layers." as they peel me like a ripe guava. I came to a deep realization about what onions were a metaphor of. See, underneath everything, we're not deep, intelligent human beings. We're not special neither. Dreams freaking lied to us as children. They wanted our money, so they sold us a lie. We're not even unique in style and taste. There's nothing about is any differences from the rest of us. Underneath everything, we're just skeletons. Go up to your neighbors and greet them as skeletons. Recognize them for the true skeleton inside, because one day you might be the skeleton. In fact, you already are that skeleton. As the end credits of my existence play, I'm just like executive producer was Satan. I become more concerned about who the director was. In fact, it would send a shiver up my spine if the pool boys hadn't broken it. It was me. So that was the last Shrek film. A Creepypasta is previously narrated by Dave the Useless. And my final thoughts, pretty much the most weirdest Creepypasta I have read. And yes, this is like the second Creepypasta that has something involved with Shrek. The first one is the Shrek 1, the director's cut, which is back in Halloween. And yeah, it just felt like a freaking satire on DreamWorks and the craze on people for Shrek, you know, because seriously, why do people always love Shrek? Seriously, what is this? My Little Pony and Loud House have a kid? Oh wait, Shrek came out in 2001. Well, both of those properties didn't come out until the 2010s. So yeah, and this is some memorable moments like the Lord Farquaad mug, the poor mean the never get freaking scoop into like a taco or something, and the metaphor about onions. So yeah, pretty much the most craziest, weirdest creepypasta I have ever read, and it has something involved with Shrek. So yeah, guys, hope you have a pretty good day, and on Sunday I'm gonna plan to see Toy Story 4. So on a Saturday, I'm gonna do a reaction video on something Toy Story related, mostly a YouTube poop of it. So yeah, guys, hope you have a pretty good day, and subscribe for more videos. Bye bye.